This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Well, it's the new and 11th studio album from Black Label Society, Doom Crew Inc. Available, we were just talking about this on Black Friday, of course, but you can pre-order it now. The U.S. tour kicks off October 1st out west, going pretty much everywhere to the end of the year, November 7th at Irving Plaza here in New York City, and in Jersey, November 10th at the Wellmont Theater. All the info, blacklabelsociety.com. Your Eminence is in the studio with us. Zakk Wylde, man. How are you?
It's great to see you again, and, being that you just mentioned 11th album, it's just amazing to me that somebody's still giving me money to actually make these Black Label albums, and I'm convinced that they're just giving us the cash just to hope that we save enough of it so we can just buy an island somewhere and just
and just go away?
Go away and never come back.
Well, you are originally from our own backyard in Bayonne, New Jersey. We love that. And I was looking at the album, the liner notes, the copy, and I didn't know this, but I love the name of your music publishing company, Bell Bottoms and Beer Music.
Oh yes, that's when I was wearing the bell bottoms and still drinking the elixir.
Right. Yeah.
And of the gods, and then but now,
styles have changed.
Well, yeah, now it's just I guess kilts and coffee. You know what I mean? So,
whenever I see you, Zakk, this is what I think, and especially now because. You look at this guy, Jason Momoa, Game of Thrones,
totally.
Aquaman. Why is Zakk Wylde not a superhero yet?
Well, I tell Barbara Ann that every time after we make love, I guess if that's what you want to call it. But I just take care. I call it taking care of my responsibilities.
Yes. Yeah.
And no, but I question that myself sometimes too.
You would be the most awesome superhero ever. I mean, look at you. You are a superhero.
That's what I tell Barb every time I walk into the bedroom. I said, "Look at me, look at me." She goes, "Yeah, I know. I have no idea why I agreed to this."
For those watching, for those listening, Zakk is ready. You have played some shows or festivals recently. Tell me what it's like walking on the stage after all this insanity of a year and a half.
Well, I mean, actually, just even though we were gone for 18 months or whatever, 19 months, from when we did our last show, which was with the Milwaukee chapter over at the Rave, I guess that was the last time we did a Black Label show. And I remember we were all just thinking, we're going to go home for 2 weeks, a month. This is before everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah. We
just figured, just a precaution type thing or whatever. And here we are 18 months later, almost 2 years later. And it was just, but it didn't, as soon as we started playing, it felt like everybody went home for like 2 weeks, and here we are again.
Right. But stepping out on that stage and seeing the fans and plugging in the guitar and here to come through
No,
the
I
PA.
mean, it's definitely awesome. But I mean, I definitely took, I cherished every moment I had home because, like I said, I'm always touring, and this has got to be the longest break I've taken in 20 plus years.
Right.
Because usually when I'm home for a little bit, and you're really not home because you're working on a record, so you're in the studio for 14 hours a day or whatever, 15.
Going on. You had the box
yeah, you always
set
got
and
something
everything,
going on. So but I mean, no, it was nice. I mean, I was telling Barb, I said, "Have you ever slept with a professional dog walker? Well, now's your chance, woman." So yeah, so I take care of the dogs, and obviously bringing Sabbath to his Jeet Kune Do classes, and which you don't get a chance when you're on the road all the time.
Yeah,
But I mean, I love getting up on stage every night, and I love playing. And and when I'm home, I love being home. But no, I'm truly blessed. But those 3 shows that we just did, just recently, we had a blast. It was awesome.
Yeah. I saw some photos on your Instagram of those shows, and now this is not a news, but in fact, on your Instagram, you do get punched a lot, and I want to know.
It's terrible. It's very unnice, and it's just I don't understand it.
Here's what I want to know.
I'm a nice person.
Who is doing the punching or the Hollywood punching? That's depending on. But and has one ever connected accidentally?
Oh, there's nothing Hollywood about it. The whole thing's real, and it's terrible. And it's just very unnice.
It is, but it's very funny. I
just figured when I made JD's as the Godfather of Sabbath Page, I figured he'd stop. It only escalated the beatdowns. It's just terrible.
It's so great.
This is terrible.
Speaking of things like that,
The only reason why we do these live shows and tour is so I can make money to pay for my health insurance because the beatdowns are tremendous.
they are really well done, though. I must say photographically, cinematically, they are
Cinematically,
They are
I
like
have to
really,
tell Father Dario.
you have perfected this. They are really good, though.
Well, that's what everybody says. They're like, well, the records are horrendous, but at least these knockout videos are pretty good.
Come on.
If they could only put that quality into the music, we might have something here.
I love the new album. It's fantastic.
Thanks a lot, man.
But I want to get to this one question. Your opinion of the new version of Hellraiser with Lemmy and Ozzy on the vocals. Have you heard this yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the whole thing is Lemmy, because Motorhead did a version of that song.
But
themselves.
after
No More Tears. Yeah, well, Lemmy wrote the lyrics. You know what I mean? So, because like you said, Oz and Lemmy have known each other forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Since like the early days of Sabbath and everything like that. And, when Lemmy was in Hawkwind, before Motorhead even started. So, but yeah, and Lemmy, and Lemmy's done shows with Oz even when St. Rhodes was in the band. When Oz started out, I think Oz was opening up for Motorhead when they were over in Europe, and then they've just been buddies forever. So, like when we were doing the No More Tears album, we'd get, when we were done, even in rehearsals or whatever, when we got, Oz had a recording of it and Ozzy's melody line on it. So this way, Lemmy could hear the syllables of what, the boss is singing. You just go around to Lemmy and go, I got some ideas for the song or whatever. Here's my melody line or whatever. He's like, all right, give me about an hour. Let me knock something out. And then you'd go down to the Rainbow and find Lemmy. He'd be over there at his beloved Rainbow, and he'd just be writing lyrics, and here you go, and done. So yeah, but yeah, Lemmy was awesome, man, for sure.
But it's the third. Let's not forget that you have a co-write on that song, right? I mean,
that's my job is the music department.
Yeah,
so.
And it's the 30th anniversary of that No More Tears album, and that great solo on Mama, I'm Coming Home. I think it's a great solo. It's a very melodic solo. And you posted a photo of you on stage. Actually,
the video,
of you and Ozzy on stage performing that song. I don't know, when that show was.
Well,
but,
I was probably, the last show we did was New Year's Eve, I think was it 2019, I guess, and at the Forum.
Yeah.
And, that's before the COVID thing and before Oz messed himself up.
Yeah.
But, I remember Ozzy after we did the show, Mom and, Mrs. O and Ozzy going, man, maybe we'll do this every year, like a New Year's Eve gig. Because we did, Zakk Sabbath, we played out in the parking lot in the afternoon, and then me and Blasco were on stage with Ozzy that night, you know what I mean? So Rob Zombie was there, everybody was there. So it was a great night. So, Oz was like, that was the last show we did. And so,
wow. But
yeah, everything was going great. The tour was going great and everything like that. So, right now, I guess we got it scheduled for Ozzy boot camp in the beginning of January. So, Oz is doing his Kegel exercises and taking his prenatal vitamins and, doing, so we can get him his bench and his deadlift and his squat numbers right back to Ozzy standard world record, numbers. And so we can get him back up on the lifting platform so we can get back out and let the shenanigans carry on.
I'd love that. Zakk Wylde is with us. The new and 11th studio album from Black Label Society, Doom Crew Inc., available Black Friday. You can pre-order it now. And he's on tour, of course, coming to Irving Plaza November 7th and the Wellmont Theater November 10th. All the info, blacklabelsociety.com. The name of the new album, Doom Crew Inc. This album was inspired by your road crew and the legions of fans for what, since 1998?
Oh, yeah, well, with the Doom Crew Incorporated, the nickname came from, with the road crew. It's just like, they're the first to bleed and the last to leave. So, the power behind the throne. So, but no, I was just the running joke, we'll let the Doom Crew take care of it or whatever. No matter how banged up you are,
but they're so important, though.
Well, yeah, I think for every band,
yeah,
and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If the crew doesn't make things happen, then the machine doesn't roll. But yeah, so that's what it's been sitting around since the beginning of the band 20 some odd years ago, since '98. So Yeah, maybe we'll use that as an album title.
The new album is great. There's a lot of massive shredding going on, and I counted at least 3 ballads on this album.
Yeah, there's three mellow guys, and I guess, and the rest were all rock songs.
Yeah, big time. And
well, you need a breather in between all the high calorie, Kegel exercises and Black Label yoga that you're doing in between.
And it's what I notice is it's really like a dual guitar band now with Dario.
Yeah, with Dario.
Right?
I mean, it's just an evolution. Because. We've always needed 2 guys because when I'm playing piano, Dario's doing the solos. But more and more over the years, just like Dario, double this part of the solo on Stillborn, double this one on me on Suicide Messiah, or double this one on this. So he's always getting more involved, on everything. So it was just like when we did this album, it was like doing harmonies and stuff like that. Whereas like with the Allman Brothers or Judas Priest or Thin Lizzy, you literally need 2 guys in the band because the sound of the band is the guitar harmonies, are a huge part of the band. So on this album in particular, it's just, and then on obviously doing the solos, like I'm doing my bit, then Dario goes, then I'll answer back, then Dario answers. Because live when we do like Fire It Up, we usually go out in the crowd and do the trade-offs. So it's basically just an extension of that. But but Dario's amazing. He can play his ass off on the guitar. He plays piano. He sings. He does dishes, laundry. Makes an amazing chicken piccata.
Nice.
Yes, he prefers using the capers. Never uses salt. Yeah, it's the capers. Yeah.
And Set You Free is the first single. We've learned to expect funny videos from you over the past few years. But this video for this song, Set You Free, is just hilarious. I want to tell me about the wigs, the guys.
No, those weren't wigs. We dyed our hair black for the video, and that was it.
And it was like a pompadour, like.
Yes, Barbara Ann, my wife, did all our hair. And,
so
but I know
great.
the video, I told Justin, he's the Stanley Kubrick of Black Label, of all our videos. And I just said, Father Justin, I said, what I want to do is kind of reenact my high school prom from Jackson Memorial High School in 1985. And I think he captured it perfectly, down to the bath salts, ripping the guy's arms off and beating him profusely with his own arms. That actually all happened.
Now, they turned into cannibals or vampires. Which one? I don't know. But they drank this.
In Jackson Memorial High School, we have both. So, they were all there.
We're going to play that song now from Zakk Wylde and Black Label Society, Set You Free. The new at 11 studio album is Doom Crew Inc., available Black Friday, but you can pre-order it now and see them everywhere on tour, pretty much all across the country. All the tour dates, blacklabelsociety.com. But I will see you at the Wellmont Theater along with Trevor, our morning show producer, and Irving Plaza, November 7th. Zakk, always a pleasure.
Always great talking to you. Thanks for having me on, my brother.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.